And if you know how to do that, hover over your picture and click on the three dots above you. And then you can rename yourself and add the country you're from. And I'll just show you on me. Here's the rename feature where you can rename yourself. I'll put an A on here, USA, since I'm in the USA right now.
All right. All right. I want to just welcome everyone as we're getting started here. Mike is just walking us through an experience where you can rename your little icon if you're watching from Zoom. For those who are watching from Facebook Live, welcome, welcome. For those watching the recording, welcome, welcome. I am I'm just so lit up by seeing all the people joining from all over the world. You know, even just to start off, if we can just put in the chat box, just put where you're watching from. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can put in the chat box in the chat in the comment section there, or in Zoom you can just leave a section here. It's just so fun seeing people from Toronto, from New York, California, Michigan. Ritesh calling from Nepal. Good to have you joining again. We got people coming from Iran, from Rochester, Paris, Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, from USA, North Carolina, Romania, Missouri, UK, Netherlands. It's so fun. Canada, Long Island, another Costa Rica, Columbus, Ohio, Toronto, Melbourne, Texas, British Columbia. We got Gary joining us, from other people from Los Angeles, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Bakersfield. So fun. This is definitely a global community of people who've been attracted from your heart to a very particular kind of an experience. So I am so honored and so blessed to join with you on this, the second week of the Global Healing Miracle Experiment, which is about using the ancient secrets of Dr. Naram, these ancient healing secrets to heal yourself and heal the world. And it's an experiment. We're seeing what kind of miracles, what kind of mystical miracles of love and healing are possible. Before this 6-week experiment, we did a 30-day experiment with 230 people. We saw so many crazy mystical experiences happen, mystical miracles happen. And as principles settled inside of my heart, that there's a saying that says there's no order of degree of miracles, which means that one miracle isn't more difficult than another. And so really came into my heart, why don't we do a global healing miracle? If it's just as easy to see these miracles as it is one for all of humanity and for the world, then why don't we join together? And I actually did the experiment myself to press the points to discover what I wanted. And I said, you know, I feel like there should be at least 1,080 people that participate. As of today, there's over 1,360 people participating from so many countries: Italy, Denmark, Jamaica, Netherlands. And I want to say welcome from my heart to your heart. Today on this call, this hour, about an hour, 15 minutes that we'll be together, I believe you're going to experience something that can totally change your life forever. So first of all, in just this open-hearted welcome, I want us to just drop from our minds into our hearts, to be in a space where we're ready to see what is possible. Maybe, just maybe, even though I know that the fact that you're attracted to this call means that you have an open mind already and an open heart already. Otherwise, why would you be here? I know you've already seen miracles happen in your life. I know you've already been guided by love. Really, it is love that is inspiring that's the seed of this whole experience. Whatever is that resonance of love in you, I believe brought you right here to be watching this right now in this moment. So I want us to just magnify that part of us. I mean, it's honestly, I was a skeptic. So the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, the subtitle is A Western Skeptic, an Eastern Master and Life's Greatest Secrets. I like how even Mike, who was helping walk us through, he's like, you know, one thing we should do is just let people know their skeptic is already welcome. We should have a skeptic challenge saying, if you're skeptical, no problem, bring it. You know, bring your skeptic. So all of us start that way. I started as a big skeptic. And no matter how much you want to believe. We all have experiences where something's let us down, where we wanted to believe something and then it didn't pan out the way we hoped. So bring your skeptic as well. There's no problem with that. Even I was just with Deepak Chopra about month and a half ago or something like that. And I said to him, what would you say to the skeptic? And he says, it's good to be a skeptic, but it's not good to be cynical. So the skeptic helps you discover what is true. And he says, why don't you start by questioning everything you know? Don't just be a skeptic of this one thing, but actually start by questioning everything you know. So as this miracle, global healing miracle experiment is intended to do something that we've never seen happen before on planet Earth. We're doing something, I believe, that has never been seen before. So it means we have to open ourselves up to a possibility that we've never before walked into. For that reason, I've asked Gary Malkin to start off again with a music piece, a guided meditation to drop us from our heads into our hearts so we can start this in the right place. Gary, can you unmute yourself?
I
Mike,
got
you
it
can
right
do that?
here.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Hi, Clint. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a thrill. So, do you want to do the Brother David piece, Clint? Is that what you're thinking?
I want you to feel into it, Gary, even if you take like 10 seconds.
And do you
I
want
just
to
want you,
do you want me to source it, or does Mike have the ability to play?
Mike has the ability to play whatever you
Whatever
choose.
I want. Great. I sent it. Great. Well, hello, everybody. So, I am the proud and beloved friend of Clint, and I'm watching ever since Clint first met Dr. Naram over, I guess, 10 years ago, and I feel like I've been such a privileged um, front seat passenger watching this incredible miracle unfold as I see Clint go through what he's gone through, including every iteration of the book until this moment when it's about to launch soon. When I met Clint, I had this. I came from a New York Jewish family, and I didn't really understand the power of my words and my thoughts. And I used to feel without consciousness or awareness, I used to look at everything half empty. I used to worry about the future and hold grief about the past, and I was very unpresent. It's amazing that Clint was attracted to me as a friend. He loved my work, but I was a piece of work in terms of really being able to handle myself. And over the last 10 years, of course, I've done a lot of inner work, but one of the great influences in my life has been Clint and therefore also Dr. Naram. And I had the most profound experience uh, over the years recognizing that every thought and every word has an impact on my way of looking. And over time, instead of looking at the glass half empty or looking even at the glass half full, I started to become a person that was grateful for the glass itself. And so I'd like to play a track that has been my guiding principle in recognizing that in every moment, even, and by the way, Mike, I'm getting ready the audio track for gratitude. It's called A Good Day, Brother David. So it's the audio. I don't want to risk losing the video. So what I want to do is I was introduced to Brother David Steindl Rast, a Benedictine monk who's known as the godfather of gratitude. And I interviewed him, I recorded and asked him to speak about gratitude. And then, like so many other, over hundreds of people around the world that I've been working with Clint in bringing to the world wisdom of the world, taking the words of spoken visionaries ultimately to model that we're all inherently visionaries. We're all carrying wisdom within us. But I went and recorded Brother David and then set his words to music. And then a famous cinematographer, Louis Schwartzberg, set it to images, and it became part of his TED Talk about 7, 8, 9 years ago. And now it's been seen by 30 million people around the world. So many of you might have already heard this track. But the purpose of this, what we call alchemical wisdom, which is words set by film score quality music, is it's meant to take you out of your mind and integrate you into a body, mind, heart, soul integration. So whether you've heard this piece or not, I invite you to close your eyes and call forth the part of you that is not about glass half full or half empty. It's beyond the dichotomy, but dropping into grateful for the glass of life itself. And I have to say that one of the greatest friendships and blessings in my life has been Clint helping me be grateful for the glass. And I'm a transformed person. And someday, maybe even later today, I'll tell you a little story about the miracle that I had as a result of changing my life, thanks to Clint and Dr. Naram. And it's a remarkable story. I mean, truly, it's a miracle. But this would be a good time to just feel the feet under your, feel the ground under your feet, line up your body so you get full breath of air, close your eyes, and just with your hands just receiving this track, being grateful, the medicine of one of the highest states of consciousness, gratitude. Thanks, Mike, for playing this. You're sharing the computer sound, right?
Yes, can you hear all right?
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather. And even of the weather, we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink.
So now I invite you to open your eyes and drink in the beauty of every individual that's being focused on right now at random. Take
Open your
in.
heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light.
Don't stop the recording. Mike, don't stop the recording.
No, it stopped.
Okay, well then we want to continue looking at the beauty of each person. So if you can put the music back up and or just let's look for a moment in silence. This is what it means about being grateful no matter what. When technology life doesn't turn out well, so then we start creating the music that's in our hearts, underscoring what our ears can't hear, but our hearts and souls can. So make believe right now, everyone. This is what happens when I'm on the stage and the microphone stops working and I'm performing to 1,000 people and you have to stay with it. It's like what life does. And the miracle that we're asked to manifest is feel the music. Our ears can't hear it. But by looking in the screen, if you can pin people as we're doing this, Mike, that would be fantastic. To look at the music of each person's face and to feel the gratitude of the air of this moment, of this beloved friend of ours, Clint, of each and every one of us on the call. Look at the beauty of every person's life and their face and it's brought them up to this moment, all the sorrow, all the joy, all the gifts. Look at how we have made it to this moment. And if you can feel the music that's underneath, our ears can't hear it, but we can feel it just by seeing one another and feeling our heart's love for life itself. And what a gift it is that the music stops so that we actually can build the muscle that senses the music in life itself, whether we hear literal music or not. And let there be silence as we look at each person's face and imagining the music going on, because it's always going on every second. The music of our hearts, the music of our souls, our bodies, our minds, the beauty of every human being, and the music that we all collaborate in co-creating together, especially at this pivot moment when we're all invited to stop and breathe and feel grateful for the glass. In just a moment, Mike, keep on going and just let ourselves just bask in the beauty of every person at random, and then I'll complete with just one breath and an Om together. Can you hear the music? Yeah. Yeah. Music is just a placeholder for the deepest music there is, which is the music that we carry everywhere we go, in our eyes, in our hearts, in our souls. And I'm a privileged, grateful creator of music that helps us just make that music that's always present a little bit more palpable to our consciousness. May this call and this miracle of gathering together in the spirit of love infuse our hearts and souls for the rest of our lives and for the rest of this hour. Namaste.
Namaste.
Ah, that's so beautiful, Gare. Thank you so much for that. I don't know if you can see me. Let me just see real quick. Just 1 second.
We see you.
Oh, super. That was so beautiful. Looking at your faces, I just had this like swelling feeling of so much gratitude. One of the key parts of this experiment we're doing together is infusing our life with more gratitude. On the call last week, we shared 3 secrets, and one of those secrets was having more gratitude in our lives. So at the end of each day, we're supposed to write 3 things we're grateful for. And it's surprising how that alone makes such a transition, such a shift. So I asked Gary if he would start off by playing that piece and bringing us into that spot. Now I want to say something that I'm grateful for, sincerely grateful for. And I may have to speak over Milo because he also wants to talk. He's down here. I don't know if you can see him. Hey, Milo, you want to say something? Okay. So Milo is one of the reasons I'm grateful for, such a mystical miracle that many of you know came into my life. I wanted to just recognize that this experience that we're in right now.
Naram.
You're,
Why Warren đi mau cho gì đã?
just 1 second. Talking about flowing with it comes. I like that kind of joyful children voice. We should all be more like children in terms of being able to play with the energy that comes into our lives. So I wanted to just recognize that since the last time we met on Sunday, so many miracles have already happened. And I've witnessed some of them, and I know many of you have witnessed some. So I wanted to hear from you who's had a particularly remarkable experience. So the first secret was discovering what you want. The second was a Diti Devo Bhava, so welcoming the unexpected guest as if God or goddess himself or herself had arrived. And the third is writing down 3 things you're grateful for each night. These are the things that we started with. I just want to see a raise of hands of someone who had any particular meaningful experience that you saw something remarkable happen as a result of doing these first 3 experiments. So go ahead and raise your hand, just call on a couple people. I want to hear your experiences. So just go ahead and raise your hand if you have something that you want to share. All right, Richard, I'm going to unmute you. Please share what miracle did you see? What was your experience?
Yesterday, I actually went out and walked on a friend's acreage, and two buffalo showed up. And it was just so amazing to see these buffalo, and then also just walking and playing with the dogs that were walking on this acreage with me, and they were just playing all the time. And I'd throw a stick and they'd come back and just play, and it's just showing the beauty of being in the moment. And I think that's so important, about being in the moment of every moment of your life. So it's just to live it fully. So thank you.
Oh, so beautiful, Richard. Thank you for sharing that. I felt that. Okay, we're going to go to Savan. Savan, please share your experience.
Hi all, namaskar. So over the week, I've seen various birds, etc. on my nature walks, each staring back at me and obviously looking to convey a message of appreciation, a message of gratitude. And I've also started putting water out in my back garden for birds to refresh themselves or have a bath. And every morning I see about 3 of them coming to do the same activity without fail.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Savan. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to go to Colette. Please, Colette, share what your experience has been.
So the day after our last gathering, my doorbell rang. I'm in the heart of New York City, but the heart of the city. And my doorbell rang very early in the morning. And I live on the 5th floor of a 7-story building. And I was half asleep. I jumped out of bed. I went to the intercom, and this gentleman said to me, "It's very hard out here. Do you have anything to eat? Do you have any warm clothes?" Because it was still cold. And I immediately connected the uninvited. I thought of the uninvited guest because it was the day after you spoke and shared with us the whole concept of the uninvited guest. And it took on a whole different meaning other than, that moment. It became very meaningful to me in another way, in a more universal way and personal at the same time. So because I was, I was in bed, so I wasn't fully dressed, and I lowered something out of the window. I floated something down to and our eyes met, and he said thank you, and I said, thank you, and that was it. But I just thought the synchronicity of the timing of it was particularly meaningful.
Ah, so beautiful. Thank you, Colette, for sharing that.
Because that's never happened I've lived here all my life, and I've never had someone ring my doorbell. Of course, these are also unprecedented times, but it was curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you met that moment perfectly. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go to Aixa and then we'll go to Dick after that, and then Nancy. So Aixa, let's see if I.
Hi, okay. Hi, everyone. You know, again, right after your dog showed up, which I thought was such an amazing story, and I appreciate you sharing that information with us because it's so important now to get any good, positive story. But I have a friend from New York from I was a child, and, you know, every now and then we will, you know, catch up and so forth. And I think about a little bit before the dog showed up that week, I was speaking to her and I asked her about her son, Three. His name is Three. Well, his nickname is Three. And she says, you know, Aixa, his school is closed. He plays basketball. He has a scholarship. I think it's from Iowa. And anyway, she didn't want him to come back to New York because she was very afraid. She's like, there's nothing here for him. And I thought to myself, well, send him here. And he showed up, and he's such an amazing young boy. I mean, I felt like I'm doing him a favor, but he's done so much with his innocence. He's really into his body, and he eats any word that comes from my mouth. Like I tell him all about Dr. Naram's, you know, home remedies, and that we talk about food, and he's so open and willing to just learn and get knowledge. And it's such a privilege. So he's been in my living room and I get to, you know, serve. And that just, I think it's a great story. Anyway, thank you.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, Dick, can you unmute yourself? Let's see if you can unmute yourself and share your story. Such a
I think
beautiful
I'm
story.
unmuted.
There we go. We can hear you. Speak a little loud.
Yesterday, my wife felt comfortable enough to get out of the house. She has a compromised immune system and didn't want to get out because of the virus and all. But she felt like it was okay. We were going to go buy flowers. And to get there, you go on a 2-lane blacktop road for about 5 miles. And this time of year, you sometimes see turtles that are trying to cross the road. Well, had she not been with me, I wouldn't have seen the turtle, and I don't know what would have happened to him. But she said, "Dick, did you see the turtle?" And I said, "No, we got to stop." And so there was just a turnaround, just moments after that I was able just to gracefully turn the car around in the driveway, come back right in front of the turtle. I mean, the turtle was just in our lane now, crossing with pretty good steps. And Marcia, just as she starts to get out of the car, a big dump truck, huge dump truck, comes up behind us, like ready to pass. Well, Marcia's undaunted. She goes, picks up the turtle, waits for the dump truck to go by and crosses the road. By this time, a bunch of other cars have come along. So I keep going. I come back, Marcia's deposited the turtle, and I pick her up, and we just feel such an exhilaration whenever we can protect a turtle. And it was our great day of gratitude for a turtle being there and us being able to help the turtle across the road. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but it's a huge thing for us.
I'm so glad you shared that. Thank you. We may come back to that. Thank you so much, Dick. Nancy, will you unmute yourself and share? We want to hear your story. There we go. We can see you.
Okay. Yes. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste. Just speak a little loud.
Okay. You know, this lockdown period almost came as a blessing to me because normally I travel so much for work and I'm studying Ayurveda at the same time. So I usually don't have a whole lot of time for my studies. So I've been using every single moment to sit and catch up with the work that I missed and just, you know, try to maximize every second of the day. And every morning I wake up, I say, please give me guidance on this path. So the day before yesterday, I had sat for 12 hours and woke up with excruciating pain in my lower back. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do this, but I have to do this. And I'm like, what should I do? And I opened the computer. So I sat down, even though I was in pain. I opened the email. And literally, as I was saying, I'm not going to be able to sit for the amount of time I need to, you know, your email popped up in front of me with the video of learn these ancient secrets for your back. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I felt like Dr. Naram was literally coming into my computer in my face. And I played the video, and what was so astonishing to me was, you were in that video also, the little girl who had the scoliosis was a ballet dancer, and that's my profession.
Wow.
And I just felt in that moment so grateful and so blessed. I've been doing those Marma points. They've been helping. I gave the Marma points to my husband yesterday because he was having back pain. They've been helping. And it just was such a direct communication. And I just felt so grateful for that guidance. And it was just so many things were a coincidence, but not a coincidence. It was the messenger and the message and Dr. Naram directly. And in the instant moment, it was just unbelievable. So thank you.
Oh, wow. Man. That actually makes me quite emotional, Nancy, because I had so many things to do that day. I had so many things to do. And I remember I spent like hours trying to get that video ready to upload. And I'm like, why am I spending all the time on this? I didn't know why. And I just uploaded it. And, you know, because there's like a million things to do. I'm thinking, why am I doing this particular thing? Literally, I spent probably 4 or 5 hours on it that day, something like that, just to make sure that it's right.
It popped up in the second that I needed to see it and learn and hear it. So thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Naram.
Yeah, beautiful. This kind of a miracle of healing and love, and everyone's sharing. We're in a good path. We're in a really good path. Like I know, for instance, and also someone's asking me where to find that video. You go to Dr. Naram's YouTube channel and you look for 3 secrets for back pain and scoliosis. In it, you see a story of a little girl who she couldn't even bend barely down to her knees. After Dr. Naram did a certain Marma process, she could touch her toes. In the video, she does a full back bend. And she shares her story not only in German, English, but also in Gujarati and Hindi. This beautiful girl, Anami. It's a very powerful, powerful video about what's possible. Talk about a healing miracle for something like scoliosis. You know, it can really shift your mindset. So feel free to watch that. Thank you for sharing that story, Nancy. So I became really clear this week. This week, I feel like a different person from last Sunday, because so many of these, you can call them synchronicities or miracles, whatever you want to call it, it's been happening. And I think the fact that you're on this call, and if you're following these secrets, I think it's inevitable for you to see more and more of these happening in a way that it's undeniable to you. You can bring your skeptic. My skeptic before would be like, maybe someone just really, really wants to believe something. And so they see a sign and that convinces them of what they already wanted to believe. You know, that's how my skeptic mind works. But now it's like so undeniable, so unexplainable, how things are aligning and coordinating that just pops me into this state of like awe. And I want to acknowledge with gratitude some of the people that are on this call. So 1 week ago, there was no one translating this book except for one person was helping translate it in Italian, but otherwise no one was translating it. Someone followed the calling of love inside of their heart. In fact, it's Jenny. I don't know, Michael, if you can spotlight Jenny, or if Jenny, you can unmute yourself. Jenny, do you want to unmute yourself? I just want to acknowledge you, and I want to tell what a miracle you've been. I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself right now and just say hi or namaste. Let's see, maybe Michael can help you unmute yourself. Oh, there we go. Jenny, fantastic.
Hi, Clint.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
So can you tell, what was the email that you sent me? Like what happened inside of you that prompted you to send that email?
Yeah, it were the whole week before that, something stopped. I was participating for a long time in a translation project that stopped, and I was a week, well, a bit walking around. What's next? And then I got your video of Dr. Naram. I saw that he has passed away, and that's already was something that I was touched by it. And then I saw that first or the second Sunday, the healing Zoom call. There was Dr. Smita and Krishna, and she was talking about Dr. Naram and how they met and the whole story. And I started to cry, and I felt so moved, and I could not do anything else but just write you and say, here I am, and this is what I can do. And I feel very moved and motivated and inspired to help because I have the skills and I can do it, and I love it.
This is so beautiful. So she sent me an email saying, I feel called, like this is what I'm meant to do. Now,
Yeah.
I would walk you over to my door. There's Post-it notes on the door of everything that needs to be done. And there's some Post-it notes that I put up there, but I'm like, I have no idea how to do this. I've never done this before. So when she says, I work for a publisher and I've done translations, we sent out an email, and many of you got that email and answered it. Within 48 hours, we had 33 people responded, and the book is now being translated into, how many is it? 29 languages?
Well, it's 29 languages at the moment. Yes, every day new languages, new people coming, get emails from you, and
I think I just sent her the email for the 30th language. So talk about a miracle, mystical miracle of love, and talk about what is the seed that all of us together are planting. You know, that vibration, the intention that we have to heal the world. And to see it unfolding in this kind of way is so remarkable. Thank you, Jenny, for following that calling of love. I would have never known to ask her, but she knew inside of her heart, this is what love is calling me to do. So thank you so much, Jenny.
Yes, thank you to Clint for the opportunity that it gives me and all the other people, because everyone is so excited to be part of this, to bring the book and the ancient secrets into the world. And that is what drives us all.
Beautiful. And I want to thank everyone who's helping translate. And if you want to join that project, maybe Jenny, you can just type your email address into that. And even if there's multiple people translating, it's helpful because one person will translate and the other person will proofread, so it can be translated quicker. But I just want to thank you and thank everyone who's a part of that. From my heart to your heart, you have no idea how many lives you'll touch and you'll change, how many miracles of healing and love and the blessings, the good blessings, the karma or whatever you want to call it, that will come on you from people that you never meet, but whose lives are changed through your work. So thank you so much. I want to just share one more experience of this, because I'm clear, I'm not the leader of this experience. I'm following, I know it. I'm following the impulse of love that's within me, and I'm doing what makes me happy. And I know that I only have to be me. I don't have to be anything other than me. And so it's like I have all my own emotions and experiences, but the more that I'm doing it, the more I see that everyone in this group is following that impulse of love and being guided by that love. You'll naturally know what you need to do. I want to share this experience. So then I needed to get the website ready because tomorrow is Dr. Naram's birthday, May 4th. And tomorrow is the day that we announce the official book launch. So tomorrow we're going to announce by releasing a book trailer video and announce when the book will be made available. Now, just as I was getting ready to go to the website and work on it, my power cord from my Macintosh, I don't know if you can see that, but my power cord, I just put it, and then all of a sudden it did this thing. So, all of a sudden no power. I was like, okay, this is a very unexpected guest. Why on earth, if I'm being guided for this project, why on earth all of a sudden my power cord to my computer break? So I was like, okay, what is this? And within a very short period of time, someone who was on this call sent me a message saying, hey, Clint, I created something for the Global Healing Miracles group. I think it'll be helpful. And we're going to show you this at the end of the call, but he actually created a journal where we can every night, you can just print it out and just write in it the things you're grateful for, the miracles you see, your intention at the beginning of the day. It's so beautiful. And then I invited him to the leadership call. After the leadership call, he's like, you know what, Mike, if you can unmute Jonathan, or Jonathan, if you can unmute yourself. After the leadership call, he's like, you know what, I'm actually really good at technology as well, and programming, and also I communicate really well. Do you have anything that you need help with in this area? And there are certain things that I couldn't figure out. I knew it was going to take me hours and hours and hours and hours. I just says, you know, if there's any way you could do these things. I went to sleep that night because I'm in India. By the time I woke up, he had solved all those problems, and the website looked so beautiful. I wanted to cry. I was feeling so grateful that instead of being charged with this kind of a power, there's a different kind of a power that can flow through us, that can point our hearts in the direction that we need to go to see these mystical miracles of love and healing. Jonathan, will you just say hi and tell what guided you? What was it that guided you?
Hello, everyone. Here from the USA, and I guess to kind of just mirror what Jenny said, it was really kind of love. For a long time, I've wanted to, I guess, be part of a greater purpose and a greater love, and I'd run across Dr. Rogers' TED Talk, and just I don't know, I just really just a willingness to not try to determine or figure out how I can make something happen, but just let whatever happened. And an email popped into my inbox from Dr. Roger about I think about this experiment here, and that's how I just got involved. And I was like, hey, I just followed it. So that's really all it was about, just kind of following those threads and just, doing it just to be a part of something that helps heal the world and also yourself.
So beautiful. I just want to say thank you. I was trying to thank him enough. I was saying, I don't know how to thank you enough. And he said one of the most beautiful things to me. He says, actually, I want to thank you because I've been praying to be a part of something that matters. And so I just want to acknowledge everyone on this call. You are being guided by love. That's why you're here. If you don't know that already, which I'm sure most of you already know that, you have evidence of it. But what we want to do is pop you into even more of the space in which you see more mystical miracles of love and healing happen, in which you're aligned with your soul's purpose. So that way, physically, mentally, emotionally, you're healthy, you're vibrant. And Dr. Naram says, have vibrant health, unlimited energy, and peace of mind. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everyone. I actually could have named so many people that are having this experience. In fact, Mike is one of them as well, who's helping with technology in this call. He just felt in his heart to volunteer to do this. So I'm just mentioning that now because what is in your heart that you feel called to by love, and how you get more into that zone of that vibration is following those 3 secrets. One is being clear. What do you want? Don't judge it in terms of what's good or bad, what's right or wrong, what would other people think, but really, what do you want? And follow that process. Second of all, Aditi Devo Bhava. This unexpected guest all of a sudden brought way more of a miracle into my life when Jonathan volunteered. I couldn't explain how divinely guided he was, how orchestrated that was, what mystical kind of a miracle that was. And then the third is gratitude. The more you infuse your life with gratitude, Gary started with that, then the more kind of miracles you'll just naturally see happening all around you that maybe you're just not attuned to. So I wanted to emphasize that. I want to get a commitment just right now. If you're going to follow these 3 principles, these 3 secrets more this week, maybe than ever before in your life, if you're open or willing to play this game, to do this experience, to do this experiment properly, I just want to see you raise your hand and just say, I really want to do this. I'm committed to do this. Super. I love seeing those hands come up. And it's simple. It's so simple. That's the fun thing. That's the crazy thing about what Dr. Naram taught me that's guiding me, and that was based in this book. There's secrets, but they're secrets because it's so easy. We often see them and we don't do it. It's not because it's some like mystical thing that only someone in, oh, just 1 second. Mike, oh, super. So it's not just some yogi or some person in the Himalayas that knows these secrets. You can do it. And you can see what kind of mystical experiences happen for you. So on that note, this is the story portion. Okay, so I'm going to open up and we're going to share a new portion with secrets that I can't wait to share with you. So on the very first introductory call, I shared the story about Rabat. Wasn't that so powerful? Who remembers that story of Rabat coming out of, and then she came on the call from Bangladesh? So powerful. So at the very end of that chapter, this is how that chapter ends. It says, I wondered, how did Dr. Naram, how did these ancient methods create such a powerful healing? If these methods were so effective, even in extreme cases of life and death, why didn't more people know about them as an option? What if my family had known this was when my sister needed help? Could it have saved her life? Why onions and milk? How did that even work? Does it work in every case? Where did these ancient secrets come from and how did Dr. Naram learn them? And above all else, why was I witnessing this? It may be helpful now to share how I met Dr. Naram. It was while I was visiting California in October 2009. At the time, I had absolutely no interest in alternative healing and no desire to travel to India. I was preoccupied with something much more important to me, trying to impress a girl I just met. Okay. So you never know how God uses different things in our lives, but the reason I went there was definitely, okay, so here, and then last call I shared about that meeting with Dr. Naram. Now at the very end of the call, just one second. Talk about unexpected guests. Milo wants a little attention now too. Come here, buddy. Come on. Okay, looks like he's now satisfied over there. So I shared about meeting Dr. Naram, doing that interview. And then as the interview ended, I revealed my skepticism. I actually asked Dr. Naram, I said, as I packed my camera, Dr. asked me, what is your work? What exactly do you do for a living, Clint? I says, I'm volunteering on this project with Gary Malkin and Wisdom of the World because I believe in it. Dr. Naram was intrigued. He says, if you're interested in peace, I need to introduce you to some people. And then because I taught technology, he reached into his pocket and pulled out an old Nokia phone handset with a small LCD screen. Since you know about computers, can you show me how this works? People talk about their Blackberries, their Apples, and I get so confused thinking they must mean food. But no, it's their phone. They say this one I have isn't a smartphone. Is it a dumb phone? I smiled. His question was endearing and interesting. He wanted to know how to save new phone numbers and how to read and send text messages. While I taught him step by step what to do, he watched with anticipation and awe of a child. When he successfully saved my number in his phone, he said with triumphant joy, aha, I did it. This is an amazing machine, huh? So then he tells me about the technology that he has, this ancient secrets which can change anyone's life, which can give them clarity on who they are, achieving what they want and enjoying what they've achieved. And then I ask him, I says, what does this mean to take a pulse? And he gives me an experience where he takes my pulse, but I'm just so skeptical. Even though he tells me accurate things about my body, I just don't know if he's just guessing or making it up. He's using words that I don't understand. And so for me, it was just as the same as if someone says, you know, he told me I had a pitta imbalance. I didn't know what pitta meant. So someone could have been like, you know, you have a beep, bop, boop imbalance, and don't worry, I can solve this incredible problem because I created this special remedy. So for me, it sounded ridiculous, you know, but I liked who he was. But still, I wasn't that interested. At the very end of it, he asked me, I asked him, I says, I still don't understand what you do. And so he invited me to come to India, which I didn't take seriously, but I was flattered from the invitation. Then something happened which totally changed my life. This section is called The Power of a Woman. So I might not have ever given Dr. Naram and his magic herbs another thought, but then something changed. A couple of weeks later, I traveled to California again. This time I went with one of my best friends, Joey, to San Diego to promote the project we were working on. One day, as we sat in a juice cafe near the beach, he introduced me to a woman named Alicia. Remember I said at the end of last chapter, this began with a girl I wanted to impress? She was gorgeous, with sparkling blue eyes, thick brown hair, and a fair complexion. She had on the sort of colorful, loose-fitting clothing you'd wear to a cafe near a beach in San Diego. Her voice and attitude were playful yet sincere, and early on in the conversation, I felt her innate spiritual sensitivity, which I found myself drawn to. Wanting to know more about it, I started doing one of the things I do best when I feel awkward. I ask a lot of questions. Alicia told me about her passion for something called Ayurveda. She described it as an ancient healing system that looks at a person more holistically than Western medicine does. The word Ayurveda can be translated as the science of life, she said. Science of life, I thought, what's that? Although Dr. Naram shared that definition with me earlier, and it sounded funny then also, somehow I was much more interested when it was coming from Alicia. Though skeptical of the whole topic, I was interested in science and I was very interested in her. You know, I said, I recently interviewed a guy who's supposed to be a master healer from an ancient Himalayan lineage and that he calls Siddhaveda. He was a doctor for Mother Teresa and the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, thousands of 9/11 firefighters. So I was grasping for anything related to her interest in order to keep the conversation going. And why not do some name dropping too in case it made her interested in me, right? I've never been good with women. One time I dated a girl who actually told me she had to pray to be attracted to me. That is a true story. I guess I'm just more comfortable behind a computer or writing an academic research paper than trying to understand the mind of a woman. But even I could tell that something in this conversation with Alicia was working. She looked excited about what I said, so in my awkward attempt to connect more with her, I offered to introduce her to Dr. Naram. You could do that? She said. That would be a dream come true. To my shock, this stunningly beautiful woman smiled at me, wrote down her phone number, and asked me to stay in touch. So the bliss that I felt turned quickly to anxiousness as I wondered whether I could actually deliver on what I'd offered her. Now feeling pressure, I called Dr. Naram's office in Mumbai to find out if his invitation to come to India still stood. I had no idea that what began as an attempt to impress a beautiful woman at a California beachside cafe would lead me just a few months later on a trip to India with her, headed to the clinic of Dr. Naram. All right, so you never know where Aditi Deva Baba shows up and what path it takes you on. I was so happy because this week I connected with Alicia for the first time in years. I actually haven't physically been with her in person since India, but then I asked her to join this call. Alicia, can you unmute yourself? And also Joey, I don't know if you're on this call too, but if you can unmute yourself too and just say hi. I want you to share your experience of meeting me and then coming to India. Oh, first of all, welcome, Alicia.
Namaste. Is Joey here too? That's amazing.
Yeah, Joey, you can unmute yourself. Joey, are you here? Let's see if he can unmute himself. He may or may not be able to join, but first of all, I'll start with you. I want to say, so
hello.
good to see you. Oh, Joey.
Hey. What's up, friends? Hey, hello.
So Alicia didn't know Joey was going to be on here, but I think Joey, you knew Alicia was going to be here.
I did. So, good to see you.
It's so good Joey, to see you. Wow.
You know, one question I never asked you, Joey, why did you introduce me to Alicia? I kind of think maybe you had a crush on her, but I don't know. I never asked you.
Well, I mean, like, who doesn't? You know, that's for sure. You know? But why not introduce you to such a wonderful woman, and why not introduce her to such a wonderful man? Very good friends, both good people. You know, we're in the same place for sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. It's so crazy because Alicia and I, when we got on the phone this week, Alicia, maybe you can talk to it, but you never know what sparks what path. And I definitely was not interested in alternative medicine, and I did not want to go to India, but I was very interested in knowing more about you. But can you talk about that experience of going to India or anything that's on your heart after reading the book or thinking about the path that it's led you on?
Yes. So I have to just share this first, that when Clint sent me this book a few months ago and I read these first few chapters, I was completely blown away because I had no idea that he had the inner experience that he shares in this book that he's reading to all of you today. So I was, just so surprised. And I think it's really beautiful that kind of the topic you've been weaving in today is following love's lead. Because I really realized that all the unique ways that love calls us on our path are all valid and supportive of us, of our dharmic path. So I just had to start. I'll start with that because I'm in a little bit of shock even that Joey's here and that this is like a reunion that I feel kind of teary-eyed about, especially with it being just about the 10-year anniversary of Dr. Naram's passing, of me meeting Dr. Naram and then him passing like almost exactly a decade later, and just how deeply moved that pivotal moment, that destiny appointment of meeting Joey and Clint just changed the trajectory of my life. So I want to share leading up to that point, because I'm not even sure if I've ever shared this with you, Clint, but I had left, I was working as a clinical exercise physiologist in New York, and I had started studying Ayurveda. And that's how I knew so much about it. And I was so excited to share it with you. And I had this huge intuition and this strong calling to pursue Ayurveda fully. And so I had left behind everything in my life that I knew and was comfortable, my home. I had been born and raised in New York. I had left my job, given away all my belongings, and driven across the country to San Diego, where I did not know a soul, but I just kept sharing with everyone my dream of studying Ayurveda and like my commitment to studying it deeply with master healers. And I didn't know how that was going to happen. Going to San Diego, there was no one that I knew that was going to do that. So, or a school that I was going to study at. So that meeting with Clint and Joey was someone that I met and who's amazing. And I shared my dream with, and I think that's, some of this connection came from. But then a few months later, when Clint invited me to actually go to India, I was completely blown away how Dharma was calling us all. And so I'll fast forward then to arriving in India, and actually first arriving in India, and the full experience of being there is so vastly different than the US. And the constant honking and the scent of India was just this full visceral experience of coming home. I felt so at home, and I hadn't even arrived at the clinic yet. So as I met up with then Clint and got to the clinic and got to meet Dr. Naram, it was just this deepening remembrance of something that I felt like I had known for lifetimes, but I couldn't put any words to it. It was just this really beautiful feeling of being home and being in this bubble of light and healing. And so, yeah, Dr. Naram, you're welcome I'm trying to keep it brief and short, but my whole life path changed as a result of that destiny appointment. And Dr. Naram, his light and his wisdom and his profound presence, there's an incredible wealth of knowledge and wisdom that he shares, that he then introduced me to my next teacher and told me where I should go study to dive into Ayurveda more deeply. And I did follow his lead, and he introduced me to my next mentor and teacher. But while I was there, I'd say I was moved primarily by two really, really powerful things. And one was his love, like his just presence and love, and the way that he interacted with each being with such grace and gratitude, with his full energy and intention, just completely with them, and how he listened so deeply, and his joyful, lighthearted way of being that was also just profound. He just carried this, as you all know, this beautiful aura of joy and lightness with incredible depth. And yeah, and I'm actually like in that so deeply right now. I don't even remember the second thing I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on that
Yeah.
just a second, because, you know, the context, I think someone just yesterday was saying, it's so interesting that the book is being released now, and that it's like all these mystical things are happening around it, because think about the context of the world right now and the insecurity or uncertainty or fear people are facing. There's like an unknown enemy, like an unseen enemy. Everyone that you see, you don't know if they're going to infect you or injure you or put you at risk. And so people are staying away from each other, you know, and not touching. And on the other hand, here was a man who would touch your pulse and know you so intimately, and through his healing touch would change your whole life. And at the same time that that's happening, this book is going in the world to touch our hearts with that healing kind of an energy. And so I'm just so glad you came on the call, Alicia. I want to see Joey. Joey ended up traveling with Dr. Naram and I on tours. And Joey, do you have one story you can share about Dr. Naram or something that impacted you?
Yeah, for sure. I was always super impressed when kids would come in sometimes and like be nonverbal, you know, like parents that couldn't connect to their kids at all. And within a short period of time, him being able to give them verbal cues that they followed for the first time in their lives. I thought that, you know, to watch that, like, you know, happen within a few, 10 minutes, and to see his ability to cue it the way he does, and the points that it worked was so amazing. Plus, you know, I was basically the guy who videotaped a lot of testimonials, you know, like last time I was here, I couldn't see, but now I can. You know, that's a pretty powerful thing to be like recording the testimonial of. Yeah, and his way of being is like, it was just so fun. You know, I remember like in the airports, everything was like, wow, sunglasses, amazing. Everything, you know, like there was some for sale sunglasses. He was like, sunglasses, amazing. You know, or like one time, like in the airport, you know, are y'all together? We were in the security line. The security guard asked, are y'all together? And the whole world is together. he said to the security, sir, all of humanity is one, or something. I was like, that's just so awesome, you know. So yeah, you know, being the guy behind the camera recording a lot of beautiful experiences, obviously, like that was like some of it was like shocking, you know, like you couldn't see and now you can 6 months later. Like that's pretty, you know, amazing. And then seeing up front within 10 minutes, those nonverbal kids becoming verbal and people with shoulders moving and stuff like that. Really fun. And God, I just loved his way of being. You know, I just liked watching him. I feel like I'd be like, oh, what in the world? What a fun little kid, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's so many people on this call that can speak to that. One of the people that's actually one of the in the very beginning of the book is Yolanda. And Yolanda had such a powerful transformation experience that is, honestly, to me, it represents a healing miracle that's a microcosm of the macrocosm. Yolanda, would you be willing to share some of that experience? Let's see if you can unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself, Yolanda? I'm not sure if you can. So Yolanda, she's she's a two-time winner of Miss International Bodybuilding competition. I'm not sure if you can unmute yourself. Oh, there, we can hear you now. Fantastic.
Hi everyone. Yeah, you know, I met Dr. Naram probably some 5-6 years ago. And I was going through having some female issues, and I just found him online. His energy, even online, I felt it. So I thought, okay, I need to find this guy. And I did some research. I found out that he was going to be in Vancouver, BC. And I live probably about 45 minutes from Vancouver, BC. I have to cross the border. I'm in Washington State. So I went up, and my appointment was kind of at the end of his day. and it was running a little late, and I was really hungry, and I was starting to get to that point of hangry because I was so hungry. But once I met Dr. Naram, I walked into the room, and I don't know how many patients he had seen that day, but it was like I was his first patient. And the energy, it was so, yeah, it was off the chain for me, you know, to meet someone with such energy. And he says, when I sat down, he took my pulse. And again, you know, I've always been into natural healing, but when he touched my pulse, that was just out of my thinking. You know, how can this man know so much about me by reading my pulse? So he asked me what was my wish. So I shared with him to become healthy, and after that, I met with him again, probably about 6 months later, because he came through Canada. And I noticed that my body had started to heal and change, and how much of that is mental. And knowing that if I created that, I could also heal it. And with his words of encouragement, I became healthy, and everything is functioning just perfect. So it's been a beautiful experience knowing Dr. Naram. And he, of course, gave a call for me to talk to Krishna, because he had started getting into bodybuilding and weightlifting. And so I gave him a few tips, and that was really fun. But my experience was just, I can't even really describe it. He has such a beautiful soul, and I still feel his spirit. So it was a pleasure for me, like I'm sure with all of you, to have had his presence and life-changing experience.
So beautiful, so beautiful. I think right now, actually pretty soon. Okay, so thank you so much, Yolanda, for sharing from your heart and for being in a position where you followed your heart to where this miracle of love and healing is possible. So the first 3 weeks of this experiment are all about having that for ourselves individually, to getting into that space. And so that's why these 3 secrets are so important, getting clear on what you want. Dr. Ram said this is one of the biggest secrets, getting clear on what you want. Second is seeing the unexpected guest, following this ancient secret principle, Aditi Devo Bhava, seeing the unexpected guest and treating them as if God himself has come to visit you. And then the third, God or goddess herself has come to visit you. And the third is infusing your life with more gratitude. So as this has happened, there's so many other people on this call I would love to hear from, and we're going to break into groups. But before that, I want to share, I believe that as we do this for ourselves, you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And the sheer fact that so many of us are gathering now, more than 1,360 people are gathered as a part of this experiment, I can't help but think that there's something amazing going to happen. And I just got a phone call or got a message from one of my dear friends who's putting together something on a global scale, a global healing scale. I just thought it'd be so beautiful if she shared it on this call and we could hold space for not only the healing miracle inside of ourselves, but for all of us simultaneously on planet Earth. Brandy, are you on the call? Can you unmute yourself, say hi, and just share a little bit about what is the gift of love? What is it leading your heart to do? And just give us an update on that.
Hi, brother.
Hey.
I don't have my video on because I'm in the mountains, so it'll make my connection worse. So, but yeah, I'll just share. I've had this vision probably for 8 years to bring together the biggest spiritual leaders in the world and create a global synchronized meditation. And when COVID happened, I just had my new baby. She's actually baby Ray is 3 months right now. And this vision started coming to me really strong, and I was thinking, okay, why is this happening? There's no way that I'm going to work on this right now, you know? And so anyway, I went to the full moon, the last super pink moon, and I asked, you know, am I supposed to be working on this? And I just heard a yes. And the next day, I just put it into motion and started working on it. That was the first miracle, because for 3 months, my baby has been kind of colic and had serious like stomach problems, to where I couldn't set her down or give her to anyone, or I would have to hold her to sleep all night. So I was delirious, and none of this made sense to say yes to this. The day that I said yes, she completely changed. She was just like a different baby, and I could just hand her off to anyone, and she would be fine. So as I started working, the universe just had so much support, and people started coming together so quickly. I assembled the most amazing team of people who got behind this, and all of these synchronicities started to happen. We just got Andrea Bocelli on board, and he just sent a email. He's put together actually a video to the Pope, inviting the Pope to join us, and said that he would open for him. And we have 2 other people that are directly speaking with the Pope. We've also put a message to the Dalai Lama, and I don't know where it's at in actually reaching him, but yesterday the Dalai Lama just put a message out saying that we need to all come together during this time, and pray. And so this is really interesting. And what I'm looking for is that what would be great is to just have the support to call in, you know, the Dalai Lama or whoever's supposed to be, you know, in contact with us to put this together and see what happens.
So beautiful, Brandy. So since Brandy had come right in this space where we're all in this, in our hearts, looking for a global miracle, I couldn't help but say, this is a beautiful intention, really, to have people that, you know, have the leaders of people consider come together all at the same time for some kind of a healing experience. Brandy, I'm just thinking, yeah, we can also have Sadhguru. So the people in this group that want to be involved in some way, we'll give them your information or find some way to give them your information.
Yes.
But also, I was just thinking, if we could just drop in for 3 minutes, maybe Gary, you can recommend some music we can play. We could just hold space for healing to happen on the planet. Dr. Naram, one of his secrets was he would always go to what he called SSS, silence, stillness, and solitude. And in the silence, the stillness, and solitude, you get clear on what is love leading you to? And so if we have collectively right now, since we're all gathered, such beautiful people from all over the world, have in our hearts a collective intention for global healing in light of what Brandy said, and also maybe in light of what you'll be inspired in your heart to create, I just think it'd be a beautiful experience. So Gary, do you have one of those musical pieces you can play?
Yes,
And,
I gave it to Michael. And since we mentioned it's either the end of suffering, either in honor of the Dalai Lama, because Thich Nhat Hanh is a beautiful world-class Buddhist teacher who's still hanging on and for his life, and also, or the Pope, the Franciscan gift. Either one of those would work beautifully for this.
Let's do the end of suffering with Thich Nhat Hanh. Mike, can you do that up? So
just,
everyone,
and
just
allow. Go ahead.
No, you lead us, Gary. That's perfect.
Just remember, music is what makes palpable the music in our hearts and souls that are always here. So allow the music to bring us into even more presence in our body, our heart, our mind, our soul. Let this music be a prayer to bring us into full presence with gratitude for the miracles that are happening and that will happen as we embrace the power of love together. Don't forget to breathe.
lắng lặng nghe tiếng chuông huyền diệu đưa về nhất tâm. Ba nghiệp lặng thanh tịnh theo tiếng chuông, nguyện người nghe tình thức vượt thoát nẻo đau buồn. Nghe chuông phiền não tan mây khói, lặng thân an miệng mỉm cười. Hơi thở nương chuông về chánh niệm, vườn tâm hoa tươi xinh tươi. Phổ môn vọng tiếng kiểu dân đã thơ xuất hiện giữa lòng đóa sen. Cơm đổ một giọt rơi lên xuân về trên khắp mọi
What a what a beautiful privilege to see everybody's gorgeous faces. Thank you. Namaste.
Just take one collective. We can take a deep breath in. So on the count of 3, take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. So beautiful to join with you. Thank you, Brandy, for sharing your vision of where love is leading you. So many people in this call, thank you for sharing your vision of where love is leading you. There is a journal. There's a journal you can print off that will guide you in these 3 secrets. How you can apply this to see more mystical miracles of love happening. So if we can put that link, Michael, if you can put it in the chat where anyone can download it, and I'll also too, and I'll put it in the Facebook group and other places where you can use this, utilize this chat, utilize this journal entry as just a reminder. So on a daily basis, you can practice the things that drop you more into your heart to see more of these mystical miracles happening. Now, for those who need to leave, actually, Alicia, thank you for sharing. Alicia now is a practitioner and she studied at the Ayurvedic Institute with Vasant Lad. Alicia, I just want to say thank you one more time. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but thank you so much for joining. Joey, if you can unmute yourself, say, I just want to thank you for joining. For those who need to leave right now, you can actually, we'll have a chance where you can exit the call. And then for those who want to stay and just meet other people on the call and answer this question, where is it that love is guiding you? After we're dropped now into our heart, this is a golden opportunity for you to ask yourself this question. What is love calling from you? Why did it call you to be a part of this experiment, this global healing miracle experiment? Where is love? What is it? What is love asking you to do? That's the question you can converse with people in your group. I am so excited to have you join us and to have you, your heart call you to be here. That was a very powerful experience for us to all join in that meditation. That was a recommendation from someone on the leadership team that we should do, and it was so beautiful. So from my heart to your heart, and seeing all the beautiful faces and feeling what is it that you're meant to do here on this planet. I think this experience we're having together is one of them to help you discover and put you on a trajectory that maybe you never expected was possible. So thank you so much. I'm going to actually just allow people to exit if they need to. Otherwise, Mike, if you can split us into the smallest groups possible. So in groups of, I'd say 4 or 5 or 3 or 5. And then in your small group, just you'll have to press on the screen, accept the invitation to go into the small group. Press on the screen, accept the invitation, and then you can go in that small group and discuss the answer to that question. Why did love call you here? Or what was that called you to be here? And as a result of dropping into your heart, what is love asking you to do now? What is it you feel inspired to do? So Mike, if you can go ahead and start that, and lots of people are going into the groups right now. You just have to click on your screen.
So there'll be 3 to 4 people in your group. If by chance there's no one in your group, you can click to come back to this room and I can reassign you to a group with people. But everyone should be seeing that now, and you'll be able to click into your breakout. Looks like everyone, still a few people who haven't been able to pop into their breakout room.
Let's see here.
About 46 people that still would like.
And let's see. So Marzia, do you know how to go into your breakout room, or Barbara? You know how to. I think you just click something on the screen. You can go into the breakout room. Kaylee, Janet. It should just be a little invitation that you just click join the breakout room. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Manuel, do you know how to join the breakout room? So I'll stay in this room with everyone who's still here, and we'll answer this question. How's that sound, Mike?
And I changed it to where people can unmute themselves, and I got a little notice that they'd like me to give them help in breakout room 31. So I'll pop over there and then pop back.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll start calling on a couple of people. Jose, I just want you to speak a little bit. What was your answer to that question? I think I know already, but you can share about your song. I don't know if you. Yeah, beautiful. Can you share what is love calling you to do right now? Can you hear me? Bonjour. No? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if someone else is able to speak. Barbara, are you able to share? Oh, super. I want to hear what is the answer to that question. First of all, why were you called? Why do you feel like you were drawn to this experience? What did you want? What do you want from this? And also, what is your heart calling you to do?
I really want to be connected to this group. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you beautifully.
Okay. I really wanted to be connected to this group. And why? Because I missed connecting with Dr. Naram. I several times tried to get in touch with him here in the Netherlands. And I understood that he was coming twice a year. And each time I signed in and asked to have an appointment with him, each time the answer was, sorry, no place. And I asked, can you put me on a special place so next time I can meet with him? No, we don't do that. And then one day before my birthday, I received a message that he passed away. And I felt so sorry that there is no time to meet with him. I felt so down that I could not even write to his wife or his son. And that's the reason this time I wanted to connect to the group, and you too, Clint, because I really want to buy that book, the secret book. And if there is a possibility, I really want to meet with you too one day. I will fly over from the Netherlands if after the Corona crisis. I will do my best to meet with you. That's something that's deep inside of me, because from the beginning, I found the video of Dr. Naram. I didn't know him. I didn't know what he was doing. But from the first moment I saw the video, my heart went boom, 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 boom. I want to meet him. He is so special. I need to meet with him. And then especially knowing that he was coming to the Netherlands twice a year, and also in a small place called Capelle and in the IJssel. That's the place where I live. It's next door almost. All the time I received the answer, sorry, we have no room, sorry, no place. And what's the reason that I didn't meet with him? Why? Many questions.
Well, you know, I've heard this same thing from a lot of people who wanted to connect with him. And actually, I think he's more with us than ever. And you being here in this experience and you being able to read this book, I think you're going to have some really beautiful answers to those questions come to you. And I'm excited to hear what answers do come to you. So now I want to make sure that we have time for some other people to share who are still on the call. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to go to Manuel next. Manuel Antonio, would you be willing to share? Thank you so much, Barbara. Would you be willing to share what drew you here? Manuel, can you hear us? Manuel? Manuel Antonio Barreto? All right. I don't know if you can hear us, but we're so grateful you're on the call. All right. Let's go next to Esther. What do you feel? I know I got a chance to meet you, and it's amazing.
Hi.
Good
Good
ahead and please
morning.
share.
So I'm a believer in things that are meant to happen, happen. And my journey to come to Ayush Shakti started with a trip to Bali called Sacred Journeys. And at one of the healing water temples, I was immersed in the water at midnight and was doing my prayers and had put my head under the water spout. And all I heard was booming Hebrew prayer. And I don't speak Hebrew. And I didn't know what it meant. And I immediately brought my head out from the water and thought, that was weird. I'm going back in. And I went back in, and it was the Hebrew prayer again. Anyway, when I got home, I'm friends with Rabbi Steve and connected with him. I've known he and Eva for over 40 years now, but hadn't seen them in quite a while, and reconnected and told him the story about the Hebrew prayer, and that I didn't know what it meant, but I wanted to understand it. And he knew that I was coming to India for another trip. And he said, when you're in India, you need to meet Dr. Naram. I want you to stay at Ayush Shakti and experience that. So that was how I came to it. And I got an email from Dr. Naram's assistant the day after I arrived in India, and I had flown into Mumbai, and the next morning at 8 a.m. flew to Delhi. And about noon that day, I got the email saying, can you come meet Dr. Naram tonight in Mumbai? And I was already in Delhi. And so I couldn't. I said, but I'll be at the center on this date, and I'll be there for 3 weeks. So if we can arrange it, hopefully he'll be there and I can meet him then. And that didn't happen. And I was on my trip, and I was in at this beautiful forest cabin, and I got an email from Saima telling her community that Dr. Naram had passed, and I knew how close Rabbi Steve was, and so I thought for sure he knew the news already, and I emailed him and said, I am so sorry to hear of Dr. Naram's passing. And Rabbi Steve wrote me back, and he said, I didn't know, but we need to talk about a dream I had. Anyway, needless to say, the day I got to Ayush Shakti was the day I met Clint, and I got to meet Milo and give him a nice pet and feel very drawn to this experience and to helping get this word out. Since I've been back, people have told me that I have changed internally, and they can feel it. And I'm still processing all of it. But for whatever purpose, I'm meant to be here. So thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, there definitely is a purpose, and I just think that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. All right, I want to go to a couple other people. I don't know, Afzal, if you'd be willing to share. Would you be willing to share? I know Muni, I don't see her there right now, but I think it's so powerful, your relationship with Dr. Naram. You could just share a little bit about what drew you to this experience, and what's love calling you to do now?
Well, we're very fortunate. Mundi will join us in a second, but we were really fortunate to meet this incredible personality. I mean, he had so many things going for him. hard to describe. His energy, his insight. He would look at you and understand who you are inside out. And when we first met him, Dr. Naram, I was one of those guys, yeah, okay, but I had a problem, and he touched and I never told him what it was, obviously. When got to meet him, took him a few seconds to check my pulse, and he just told me everything that, that was 200% correct. And that day I said, man, this is not a joke. This is something serious. On the other hand, my wife, Muni, who's just joining us now, she always believed in this thing. She was always looking for alternate natural ways of curing oneself inside out. And she's to me, I think she's sort of designed that way, spiritually motivated. And I always, I need to have some scientific evidence to prove what I think and whatever. That's my handicap, so to speak. But anyhow, after we met Dr. Naram the first time, I had to rethink, what the world is all about. So, that thing went on for many years, and I totally benefited. My problems got cured. When he keeps stick on my head, listen, you got to do this, you got to do that. So thank you, Moon, for all that. So here I am. And I met you, Dr. Clint. We met you in Bombay. We met you in Toronto first, but then it was just a hello, hi type of thing. You visited us, yeah, thank you. And then when we met in Mumbai.
Last year.
Was it last year? Yeah, a year and a half. That's when we really got to meet you in close quarters, so to speak, understand each other. And you had that amazing book that you've written, and you read out some chapters out of it. We were just moved, and we were thrilled. It was so well written. You did a great job, and you explained what Dr. Naram is all about. This was just incredible. And we had a great time. Yes, Muni would like to take over.
Yeah, please, Muni, please.
Go for it. They were waiting for you.
I just want to say, talking about miracles and what happened, all of you will be surprised. I just spoke to Brandy. I was hearing on the screen, but then when you asked us to be in group, I wanted to talk to her, but somehow we just got into a group. Now you tell me, that's the first thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's the first miracle. And the urge for me to meet her and talk to her was because I teach the seniors healing dance here. And Dr. Naram, he endorsed me and he spoke so beautifully. What I'm doing is really good and all. So I teach over 200 seniors, and I have even Parkinson people, and we perform. Now we have come to such a level, the seniors, that we are asked to perform on big conventions, on big national days. So I do a routine of 8 to 10 minutes with the seniors. The first song we always do is What a Wonderful World. And every time we end the concert by saying Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli.
Wow.
And Brandy said that. And then we ended with Andrea Bocelli. And when she was talking about the Dalai Lama and Andrea Bocelli, I said, oh man, where am I going? So Dr. Clint is amazing, amazing, amazing.
That's so beautiful. All right.
Thank you.
Mike, if you can bring everyone back from the groups and we'll bring everyone together. That's so powerful. It makes me so happy. There's no accident you're here on this call. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I know there's more people who didn't share, and I'm feeling your heart. I can't wait to know more about you and what brought you here and what love is calling you to do. Feel free to email me. You can email at the same email where you got the email from, or reach out to me through Facebook or Instagram. We're going to bring everyone back together to kind of conclude this session. And man, what an amazing feeling to be with everyone here on these calls, hear the miracles and see the miracles happening. Mooney, you want to say one thing?
I have a question. Like we heard it previously, if we have some sort of something that we need to get some murmur for, may we call you, email you, and then you send us that link or something that can help us?
Beautiful question. You know, I think Dr. He actually had a real I don't know what the right word is, but he had a worry that if he left the planet, this knowledge would leave with him. And I think that's partly why he called me into his life. So for 10 years, we worked so hard together on this book. And actually inside of it are so many of the marmas. Like you open up to any page and it actually demonstrates what to do for different things. This is Ancient Healing Secret for Maintaining Normal Blood Pressure. This one right here is Marma Shakti's secret for being more peaceful, present, and focused. You know, and without me knowing it, he actually trained me as well as many other people. But how to do this, how to follow this ancient healing secrets in such a way. So definitely you can reach out to me. And in the book itself has so many of those secrets and home remedies and Marma points documented in there. And then the book leads to an online community which demonstrates how to do those Marmas. So the whole idea is how more people can benefit at home without meeting Dr. Ram. Already he couldn't meet more people. So we were writing this book so more people could benefit without having to meet him. And that's the whole point of it. And that's the whole idea. Yeah.
Dr. Clint, when will it be available?
Great question. So tomorrow is Dr. Ram's birthday. And on tomorrow, we're going to announce the book launch day. Tomorrow is the day that we announce it. So stay tuned. Also, we're going to do a series of online events interviewing different celebrities that knew Dr. Naram, patients and students, people that had miracle experiences. So throughout the day, you'll see lots of that. And then we're going to release a book launch trailer video. My only request is this. When I release the book launch video, you'll see it on my Facebook page. We'll email it out. Share it. I would say in this state of the world right now, we can help people move. Either people are going to be crystallized into fear and not trusting anyone, being afraid of everyone they see, that maybe that person is going to hurt them, this invisible enemy, this invisible danger. And it'll crystallize into fear and distrust, or they can move into a space of love and trust and healing and confidence. This book actually has a secret in it. Dr. the last 3 videos I recorded of him were about the situation right now with how to boost your immunity so you don't have to worry about any kind of sickness. And that remedy is in this book as well. But it's not just the remedy, but it's a whole mindset about being aligned with your purpose. All those secrets are there and those questions are there. So great question. I want to thank you from my heart for being on this call. Next week, because I don't have it set up, I'm going to share with you another song that can drop us in our hearts. But I just want to honor you for being the kind of a person that would be attracted to this experience. And I want you to see more miracles, mystical miracles in your life. And it's so possible from following these 3 principles. Mike, can you just share your screen and the journal entry one more time that Jonathan created? I just want to make sure you know you can download this as one resource or one tool. This is just a free gift. Someone followed their heart, followed love, and created this for all of us here so we can all benefit. So Mike is going to share his screen and you'll see this is the Global Healing Miracle Experiment Daily Journal. And this is one page. The next page you can go to, Mike, just gives the instructions or the directions. So this just talks about the whole purpose of the Global Miracle Experiment, what to do in the morning, what to do in the evening, how to print the journal. And then the very last page just gives you the morning routine and evening routine. So the morning routine, you ask, what do I want for today? And also, what do I want to be today? This is a secret we're going to go into more next week. But Dr. Ram said there's knowing, there's doing, and there's being. And the main thing isn't what you know or what you do, but it's what you want to be. So much of us have a to-do list, but why not have a to-be list? So in the morning, you just decide what you want to be. Mike, can you just keep it on that last one? Just keep it and don't scroll it a lot. Yeah, just keep it here so we can go through. So what do you want for today? And what is your to-be list? And then the evening routine, 3 things you're grateful for. So just list off 3 things you're grateful for. Then what ancient healing secrets did you practice with love today? For example, Aditi Devo Bhava. What unexpected guest came? Then what kind of miracles did you see? So every day you're just recording in your journal these things. If you do this simple secrets, very practical, very easy, anyone can do it. It's inevitable that you'll see more mystical miracles of love in your life. And I want to hear what they are next week on the call. And as we are collectively all doing it together with this intention of global healing, I'm so excited to see as we unfold this experiment, what happens collectively. All right. Anything else? Any other questions anyone has right now? You can raise your hand and we'll do just a couple minutes of Q&A and then we'll finish up with one thing. All right, Mooney, you have a question. Super. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself, Mooney. Just
No.
1 second.
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So we were brothers and sisters, you know that, Clint. And something in my heart, I flew to New York when I heard about that. But I want to know, I live in Toronto, I want to know really what happened that took his life. Honestly, it's a very personal, but my heart will be at rest. It will be peaceful.
Yeah, super. Many people ask that question. He was perfectly healthy and fine. I was with him in Berlin. His heart was tested. They gave him a clean slate. He was in Dubai. We all got phone calls from him. He landed in Mumbai, called Vinay and said, "Is the car there?" Vinay said, "Sure. The car's waiting out here." And somewhere between that phone call and leaving the airport, he collapsed. Was rushed to the hospital. They declared him dead. They didn't do an autopsy. They didn't do anything. They just said it was heart failure. And within 12 hours, he was burned. So they burned his body. So Mooney, this is a question that will remain a question. And it's a mystery. We don't know. So I wish I could answer your question. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but all I know is that there's some reason for it. And I think he's more with us than ever before. The mystical things that have been happening, so many spiritual masters I've talked to says he can do more things for us now than when he was contained by his body. And we've seen it on the Mystical Miracles experiment that we did just previously. Dozens of people had visitations from him and they helped him in such specific ways. And I feel it. I feel like he's so much behind the message of the healing message of this book touching people's lives. Otherwise, why in 1 week, suddenly now, it translated into 29, 30 languages within 1 week? I mean, when have you ever heard of that happening with any book ever? I've never heard of it.
No. It's a miracle.
So, and I know that the message, his message, or the message that he even said that he was a conveyor belt. Hey, come here, buddy. Milo wants to talk more too. Okay, here, look. He's so happy to be here too. He showed up the day after the prayer service. I was so depressed, so discouraged. And I went out walking that next morning, 5:30, lost, confused, lonely after the prayer service of Dr. Ram. After 20 minutes, all of a sudden I felt like someone was following me. I'm like, who is that? I look, and this dog that I've never seen before in my life followed me everywhere. I tried to give him food. He wouldn't accept it. Dr. Ram said, Aditi Devo Bala, treat the unexpected guest as if it's God. I had that in my mind. So I said, he always, with any animal, always gave it food, something. I tried to give food, but he wouldn't eat it. Milo wouldn't eat the food. An hour he followed me around, all my depression left, and I was just left with this sense of awe, this miracle that was unfolding. I brought him to Krishna's house, and I said, what do I do with this Aditi Devo Bala? Krishna snapped out of his depression. We remembered so many secrets Dr. Ram taught us. Now for the last 2 months, this dog has been with me every day, sleeps by my side, wants my hand on its head. And it's been like such a mutual gift. Just yesterday, we were walking, and all of a sudden, I've lived in this area for 10 years. I've never seen monkeys ever. We were surrounded by 15 monkeys yesterday playing all around us, just as this like unexpected gift. Like, I know that Dr. Ram loved you, and I know he loves everyone who's attracted to his message. I know he loves everyone who will be attracted to this book. And I know, like, for instance, Jenny feeling called in her heart to work on translation, or Jonathan feeling called in his heart to create this journal, or you feeling called in your heart to be here right now. Like, there's something guiding us. There's something that led me and Joey to Alicia. somehow. And somehow, I don't know if I was in so much depression, I wouldn't have completed this book if Milo didn't show up. Because at the point I was in that kind of depression, I was thinking, what's the point? You know, what do I do? I was so lost. But then all of a sudden, so many mystical miracles have been happening that I'm thinking, holy smokes, it's reframed my whole way of seeing the world. And all I have to do is show up and be me. And then everything else is taken care of. I just get to play my part, my beautiful part from my heart. I get to sing that song. And that's the song that needs to be sung right now for whatever reason. And I believe there's a reason why everyone who is attracted right now to this experience is here. So I just want to say this. I want to say thank you again, everyone. Oh, actually, I'll just see if there's any more questions anyone has, or anyone feels inspired to share anything. You can raise your hand. Laria, are you raising your hand, or are you kind of just touching your face? Okay. Okay, Padmalaya, please.
Oh, I just wanted to share. I put it in the chat, but people might not see it, or you might not have seen it. 10 new people joined the Facebook group while we've been on the call. And the new people joining have just been rolling in so steadily. It's amazing.
And Padmalaya, you've experienced the major transformation from the beginning of this experiment.
Yeah, I don't know which one you want to know about.
Yeah, but like you're a totally different being. It feels like to me, and so full of life. I mean,
I'm evolving.
Yeah. Can you just share a little bit before versus now what you feel different?
Yes, there's one really huge thing. One is that I've been in a transition place in my life, and to really go into the question of what do you want. So I've been kind of writing this balance of trying to really go there with it, but also let it come to me as well in a natural way. And it's not going to be a surprise to anybody in my life who does really know me. But the thing that has come to me that it's time for me to take my prior experience that I had with my son's recovery from severe autism and share that with the world and help other parents, and also the philosophies and concepts of it also help regular life as well. So that's a huge thing. I know what I want, and the group is helping me feel ready inside myself to actually do it, because it's big, it's kind of heavy. So to feel really ready.
Wow, so beautiful.
I want to help some people.
Yeah, and Padmalaya is also, her and Christelle are leaders of the social media team. So if you want to do something helping spread this message of love and healing, be a part of that mission, then please reach out to Padmalaya and to Christelle and help us, help more people. Beautiful. All right, I just want to see one more time, raise a hand, anyone feel inspired to share? We'll go to Patrick, and then we'll go to Mooney one more time. Patrick?
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yep, you're unmuted.
Okay, fantastic. Clint, yeah, it was a really great show. I mean, today. I just want to share an experience I had. I was sitting on the balcony at work. It was this beautiful view of Phoenix, and the wind was blowing, but there was something happening. It was like surreal. The wind started blowing really hard for just about 15 minutes. And I loved the wind. I loved the feel. I was just sitting on the balcony, and then I had been fasting that day. And so I had a sense of like well-being. And I had read the first chapter of your book. And all of a sudden, I just had this like sense of well-being, and all these creative ideas were flowing through me. And because I had been focused before on that I needed to heal. And what came to me was like this presence, this stillness, this knowingness that, like the wind began to blow. And I guess it was about 1:35 in the morning or something. And what came to me was I didn't need anything. I just needed to be me. I needed to just show up and be there for people and to be that love. And there was no such thing as that. I don't know, but I can just go in and find out the answer to whatever I need to know in the moment. And it was just a beautiful like experience for like, it was like 15 minutes as I timed it. It started at like 1:35 in the morning. And then, but I just felt like there was just knowing that I was just being in the moment. And you know.
I love that so much, Patrick. Thank you for sharing that. What if everything you needed was within you now? What if that was the truth? Yeah. I believe it is, but what if you believe it yourself? Yeah. So powerful. Thank you so much. Actually, I want to go real quick to Meg. I saw Meg raise your hand. Can you unmute yourself if you still have something you want to share?
It
Meg?
says you need to.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Super.
Okay, fabulous. So it's just this whole, I was part of your first group when the first few weeks, and I wasn't sure about signing up for the second group, but I just, something led me to do it. But I met you in Wilmington back in December when you were there for Ajit's opening. And you asked me at the time, you said, you know, how, and we connected and you said, well, how can I help you? And I'm like, I have no idea, but I just knew that we were meant to be connected. And so I'm going to very, very quickly go back 10 years prior. I was going through a very traumatic, emotional time, divorce. And I remember really praying and, you know, asking God to heal me. And I felt like I was a little girl based on a lot of early childhood, like, you know, emotional things. With my father, my relationship with my father. And what's really interesting is I never in my wildest dreams expected my life to turn, you know, go the direction. But the last 3 years I spent with my father, taking care of him. He had dementia, but he was 93. He had a beautiful life. And we had never really had a relationship. And so I got that, like, didn't even expect it. It just happened. And I'm like, so know that God brought us together. Anyway, today, while Gary was playing the music, I was sitting there and I was just, you know, really letting it kind of move through me. And I really felt this urge that said, okay, you're not that little girl anymore. You have grown up, like you have moved through that space. You know, you've had that time with your dad, you had that healing, and now you're ready to really step into what you're meant to do, to like share people and be an impact. And it's just mind-blowing to me because I just kind of kept going at it, not really knowing where I was going. And here I am. So thank you. It's been amazing.
I'm so glad you shared, Meg. I'm so glad you're here. And I can't wait to see what happens at the end of this experience as well, and throughout it, each moment. So glad I met you. So beautiful. All right, Mooney, please.
Yeah. Well, I want to collectively thank Dr. Clint. And what I wanted to say, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a therapeutic. I created my own dance, but I had no confidence that can I, you know, help people. So after Dr. Pankanamar endorsed me, I have even Parkinson person who is dancing. No question and answer. So you can answer that yourself. What is going on? What's going on? That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much.
Can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you mute yourself, Clint? Or no, I'll speak. Can everybody hear?
We can hear you. Yeah,
Oh,
I just want to hear you next.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share something that's happened to me yesterday, and for
just,
the last.
If you can share briefly, because we're
Yeah,
already like.
It'll be very brief. It's going to be very brief. Okay. Yeah. So everything that I wrote down over the last month or so in my previous experiments and over this last few weeks has been, what I really wanted was to be allowed to be really unconditional love and understanding and kindness for myself and for other people, and to be really myself and I'm a little bit hypersensitive, unfortunately. I wrote it down every day, and for many years I have just been putting that to the side, because a lot of people have said to me always, "You're too kind, you're too nice. Not everybody in the world is kind and nice. You should be harder." And I started to become quite a hard person. And yesterday, or the last few months, I feel so much love. I feel everything being in this group, and having met Dr. Naram, but not met Dr. Naram, has expanded my heart so much that it nearly hurts. And I have moments where I feel so incredibly overwhelmed with, it is just really deep, profound love, that I don't know actually what to do with it. It comes up and it makes me so emotional. And yesterday I didn't feel sad or anything, but I did feel very, it was painful. And I thought, how am I need to share this with people because I want to be myself. I want to be this love, and I want to be this kind person and authentic person. I got so many incredible, grateful, beautiful messages from everyone, from people that I didn't expect it from, who obviously recognized something in it. And this morning I got a message from somebody that I don't know so well, who said to me, he sent me a video. This is somebody, he's a doctor, but I really don't know him very well. And he sent me a video, and it was about somebody talking about hypersensitive people. And it talks through a person that's hypersensitive and who is really feels profound love. And I listened to it, and suddenly I knew it. It is okay. I will never, ever be someone else again. This is who I really want to be and want to stay. I want to be that loving, kind person forever, and I will be that. And no matter what people try and say to me, or whoever comes, I will keep thinking that everything that we have around us, and that's no matter how bad things people have done, there's always something good to find in anyone. And we are all beautiful souls, whether you're a person, an animal, a thing, anything. And I'm so grateful to be here and meet all of you people. I just have grown so much, and I keep growing. Every day is like a wonderful experience. I just love you all, and thanks so much for being here.
Yeah. We should have like a warning at the beginning of this experience. You may end up feeling a lot of love and never want to go back to the way you were feeling before. This should be the warning, and you should be the post for it, Christelle. Thank you so much. A lot of people have had this experience, and it's so simple what to do. The principles are not complicated, but just requires some discipline. So I'm really challenging you, those who are still on this call and those who are watching this recording, do it. Why not? It can't hurt you. The worst that can happen is you just discover a new way of being in which you see miracles all around you. Christelle had such a beautiful video. She's like, I'm hearing all these miracle experiences, and I'm feeling like I'm not having any miracles. And then one day she popped into the space of, holy smokes, everything is a miracle. Everything is a miracle. So what if you can get into that state and that mindset and that feeling of just that expression of, brother, that sound at the beginning that we listened to about gratitude, really the most appropriate response to life is gratitude. And really, there's a great quote that's actually in this book about miracles. What is a miracle? One person was at that in the group itself. So what are the miracles you're going to see this week? I don't know, but I'm excited to hear about them and find out about them with you. I'm so grateful we had this experience together today. Tomorrow is Dr. Naram's birthday. In about an hour and a half, I'm going to be releasing the book trailer video, and I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. I encourage you to share it, because you never know who needs that boost of love and whose life it can touch at just the right moment. I never knew that meeting Alicia, had Joey introducing me to Alicia, and me having this crush that would lead me to India, then this whole path would unfold. And you never know what led you to this group, or who you'll meet, or who you'll introduce to this book, and their whole life will change. You could actually save their life. So on that note, with my heart to your heart, thank you for joining this experience. I just want to say namaste. The divine in me honors the divine in you, and I bow to that place where you and I are one. Stay safe, stay inspired, and see you again on the next call next Sunday. But if you can join us tomorrow for Miracle May, a celebration of life, join us for any of those calls. You're more than welcome to. Love you all. I love you and I'm with you. I'm going to unmute everyone just for a second so you can all hear. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
With you.
And I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Namaskaram.
Thank you so much, Clint.
And I'm with you.
Namaskaram.
So much.
Love you all.
Love
you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
I love
Love you.
you.
With you.
I love
Love
you.
you.
I am with
I love you
Thank
and I'm with you.
Ah, so beautiful. Love you with you. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow, Dr. Ram's birthday. See you next Sunday. Namaste.